Hey, what's going on, everyone? Matthew from therighttrader.com back today with another daily crypto update. Today, I wanted to talk about what the market is going to do next. And the first thing that I wanted to mention about that is the fact that Bitcoin did get an ETF rejection this week, but didn't end up getting any kind of crazy drop following that. And I think that's a very big difference compared to what we've seen in the past, in the sense that people have now kind of assumed and are prepared for ETF rejections, meaning that it's already basically kind of baked into the market, right? And at this point, we probably won't see any kind of huge drops from ETF rejections, but we are still prepared, I think, for a nice increase if we get an ETF approval. So that's kind of an advantage towards the upside there. And overall, over the past 24 hours, slight pullback across a lot of cryptos. Some are still doing good, especially certain altcoins, very specific ones. In fact, a lot of the altcoins that have been doing well over the past week and maybe even today are actually altcoins that got a very big hit, over the last couple of weeks, right? And those are altcoins like Icon, for example, up 20% over the past 24 hours. Nano still doing great here, up also about 20% over the past 24 hours. And Nano actually got a pretty significant increase. It actually, ended up going over 100% increase, right? Over just the last week or so, I believe. So I'm going to take a look at that on the chart, but nonetheless, very significant increase for Nano. And I think a lot of those altcoins that got hit bad are probably going to continue to increase, more than others over the next couple months as they, just recover, right, and recuperate. So don't forget to follow me on Twitter for live cryptocurrency market updates. And with that being said, we're going to jump right into the technical analysis. Try to talk about what exactly is the market going to do next. So taking a look at Bitcoin, of course, first, we can see a couple things going on, right? We've got a little bit of bullish signs and a little bit of bearish signs. Now, right now, the indicators are fully bullish, right? We got a nice steady uptrend going on the RSI. And if we take a look at the MACD histogram, also looking very good here, uptrending, now turned fully positive. What's interesting with the price is we finally reached our first bit of resistance here, which is at $6,800. And that was in line with our downtrend line and also our upper Bollinger Band. So a lot of resistance in that area, which meant that we weren't able to get a break out of this downtrend line just yet, and we weren't able to get back above $6,800, right? I think as soon as we get back above $6,800, we'll very quickly make our way back up to $8,000. So that's going to be a pretty powerful bullish signal, is when we get back above $6,800. Now, unfortunately, Bitcoin did fail to do that for now, and I'd say as long as we're still above $6,500 here, this blue line, we could still get a nice opportunity to get back early out of the symmetrical triangle formation, right, in between these two yellow trend lines. But if we start falling lower again, right, and we start moving closer to the uptrend line, it becomes very likely that we're going to test the end of the symmetrical triangle formation, which is in early September, and that's when we would get the best chance of breaking higher and hopefully not moving lower. Anything is possible. This is usually a 50-50 formation, but based on the indicators, we can be hopeful that we will break out higher once we reach the end of the formation. So for now, that's where we're pointing. If we're able to stay above the middle band, and maybe get that breakout earlier than expected, that's great. But as time goes on and as we move lower, it just becomes more likely that we will reach the end of the formation, which is usually what happens in this setup right here. Let's go ahead, take a look at Ethereum next, see what's going on. So we're going to take a look at the Coinbase chart here. Ethereum, unfortunately, not looking the strongest, kind of hovering around $273. Indicators still looking okay. We're still above the 30 line on the RSI. So basically, this is typical consolidation right here. Doesn't look like we're going to get any kind of increase just yet. So I'd say we're probably going to stay around this $273 mark as we reach the end of our triangle formation here. Once again, very early September. And then probably going to get a move higher, I believe. Hopefully not a move lower. Once again, we can't be 100% sure here, but seeing how the MACD is now positive, hopefully we will get that break out of our downtrend line, which will then allow us to move back to $361. Let's go ahead, take a look at Litecoin now, see what's going on. We're going to hop over to the Coinbase chart. And right now, Litecoin is showing typical signs of consolidation here, very flat over the past week. Indicators looking pretty decent, but especially here due to the Bollinger Bands, we can see this range, this very tight range actually, that's forming. Now, What's interesting with Litecoin is that it has a little bit more room as far as its triangle is, and it didn't actually test its next support level, which is at $45. So I think that could still be at play here. If we see that we start moving lower again, and we get a move below $50, basically $53, we're most likely going to be heading towards the end of the triangle formation. At that point, it's going to be once again, a 50-50 kind of moving lower or moving higher. But hopefully, we'll get that break above the downtrend line and start moving back up again. That'll really allow us to, get out of this a bit of a rut, right? Where as long as we're in these downtrend lines, it's very hard to actually get out of them, right? So massive increase on the nano chart, absolute explosive movement here, consistent, powerful, increasing buying volume, and indicators just absolutely took off like a rocket here. If we take a look at our next resistance level, that's going to be at around 68,000 satoshis. So like I said, I actually basically predicted this. I said that we're going to be heading up to around 60,000 satoshis. Still looks doable. Of course, this is, a little bit of an extreme move, but it was pushed down for months, right? So it is understandable, and I think that at this point, I don't really expect this going back down 40,000 satoshis. But I think next stop is going to be that 68,000 Satoshi level, and then probably just going to get some consolidation between 40,000 Satoshis and 67,000 Satoshis. And if we take a look, right, we're at 15,000 Satoshis. Basically, a little over a week ago, and that just shows you what was this, almost a 400% gain, it looks like here in basically no time, right? So that's the power of the recovery, right? And that's not even the full recovery, but it's a step in the right direction, and just great for Nano to be in a stronger position again. Still think it's a great cryptocurrency, just has a lot of it had a lot of drama in the past, and that carried on up until now, it looks like. Let's go ahead and take a look at Ripple. Gonna take a look at the Binance chart here for Ripple and see what's going on. So taking a look at Ripple, still consolidating in between 30 cents and 40 cents. That's further confirmed by the flattening indicators and the consolidation towards the price. So I think this is going to continue a bit longer here. Let's go ahead and take a look at our next crypto, which is going to be, let's see, next up is NEO, and we're going to see what's going on. So let's go ahead and take a look at the chart here. NEO is also looking very flat, pretty similar to Ripple actually. A little bit of a tighter range. Really here we're trading between $13 and $20. So I expect this to continue, and of course, once we break out of either of those levels, that's where we're probably going to be heading next, right? So that's what will set the trend, but for now we are still range bound. Let's go ahead and take a look at EOS. It's going to be interesting to see what's happening with EOS. Also been stabilizing a bit. It's struggling to get out of this initial downtrend line. We do have this lower Bollinger Band that's coming back up, so hopefully that will allow us to, get that support and break out of this initial downtrend line. I'm not expecting any type of huge increase just yet. I think the bigger range that we're trading in right now is between 7,000 Satoshis and, let's see, 9,300 Satoshis. So a lot of flattening out. I think we still have a pretty decent chance of not falling below 7,000 Satoshis just yet. And so hopefully, we'll just keep up with this consolidation. It's going to take some time here. We still have a lot of time before we reach the end of our triangle formation. So we want to see a bit of a clearer pattern on what's happening here for EOS, because it's not 100% here on what's truly going on. It's a little bit vague, to be honest. Let's go ahead and take a look at the Stellar Lumens chart now, see what's going on. So we're going to go over the Binance chart. And right now, we are falling back towards this lower trend line, uptrend line. And what's interesting is, this has been kind of been setting up for a couple days now. We've been dropping. I'm not necessarily worried about it, right? I think that we might just get a bounce off the uptrend line, bounce off that 3,000 Satoshi level. So as long as we're above that, it's not that worrisome. But if we start moving below 3,000 Satoshis and we lose the uptrend line support, that's when things get a little bit more bearish, and when we can really start to see a more severe fall. So hopefully we will get a bounce and just continue in the symmetrical triangle formation between our two yellow uptrend lines. That's where we want to be. Let's go ahead and take a look at LISC, see what's going on. So LISC is currently trading right above its $4.70 support level. It did pull back just a bit, but finding nice support here. So it's a nice area to be at, I think, much safer area than we were just a few days ago. And also got a nice recovery here. I think this is going to create a bit of a consolidation, though. We need to stabilize again. and after that, I think we'll be ready to move higher. Everything takes its time. We're going to need the market to, just go through the motions to then get a healthy increase. And for now, that's what's happening for both the altcoins and even Bitcoin. Let's go ahead and take a look at Cardano. Cardano currently stabilizing. Uh, I think Cardano has really been setting up for a move down to 1,254 Satoshis, so I still think that's going to happen. And then I think we're going to reach the end of the symmetrical triangle formation. So that's what I see happening for Cardano. Let's go ahead and take a look at AUDA for our last cryptocurrency of the daily crypto update. AUDA, not looking too bad here. Actually, some good buying volume, good green candlesticks, overall stabilizing pretty well here. Indicators not looking too bad, but very flat on the Bollinger Bands, really consolidating towards the price. So I think that we're going to start, bit of consolidation here, but around 55 cents, basically where our middle band is at. And then hopefully from there we'll be able to move higher. We didn't actually ever test that 33-cent support level. That is still a possibility, but for now I'd say consolidation around 55 cents. With that being said, this is the end of this video. Thanks for watching. Make sure to follow me on Twitter. Link to that in the description below, and I'll see you next time.